If I could look at myself, where I am now, to where I was when I was 25 years old, I was a troubled boy at 25, but there's parts of me that are like happy with the way it's gone, and there's parts where I could have done a lot better, but anybody could say that. I was born in St Mary's Hospital in Bow Bells, in the suburb of Dulwich. My mum had a liaison with a guy, extramarital, and I was a product of that. I guess she did what she could. The process was the welfare, if they judged that she wasn't doing a good enough job, they used to take us and put us in a home. Well, it wasn't actually fostered, it was what they call guardianship. But I was quite just happy to be within a family unit. I had two other brothers. My grandfather, as such, he was a bootmaker, and my dad was in the Air Force as a fitter. But after the war, my granddad was having a bit of trouble running the business on his own, so Dad went in there and they asked one of us if we wanted to come in, so I put my hand up and got straight on the bench. I did 11 years with my dad, and a friend of mine came in the shop with a to die for tan, and I said, "Where have you been?" He says, I've been on a beach in Greece getting a suntan for a year." So it was a light globe moment. There's more to life than just UK. We worked out our plan, and the beginning was just catch a train, the Orient Express, which takes you all the way through to Istanbul, and then we just worked our way across the, not the Middle East so much, Turkey, Iran, Afghanistan, Pakistan, India, and then we flew to Bangkok, hitchhiked down to Kuala Lumpur, and then got a plane from Kuala Lumpur to Perth. We were going to do the Indonesian trip, but we were running out of money, so we decided got to get to Australia, get a job and make some money. When the plane doors opened on the tarmac of Perth, January the 16th, and that warm, dry air hit me, just wearing a t-shirt, like it was, what do you call that, an epiphany. I was like, my God, where have I been? This is the best. Perth was just an excellent place to be. You have all these pictures of like waves and blue skies and chicks and hamburgers, and it wasn't happening in London. Get off the plane. I tell you, it's like I walked into a bloody dream, mate. I travelled around Australia, I got different jobs. I'd had such a good time in Perth, I went back to Perth. And then I ended up scoring a job up in the Pilbara. That's where I met my charming wife. Well, she wanted to see the world, and I was like, if I want to hang on to this girl, I got to go with it. So we did another trip, out through the top of Darwin, all of Indonesia, then up to Penang, down through Malaysia to Singapore, up the east coast, all the way back to Chiang Mai, Chiang Rai, back to Bangkok. And then we go through to Europe, and then she met my parents in just outside London, and we just did little gigs here and there. I got impatient. I wanted to go back to Australia. I'd already made up my mind. And then I just got back into the trade. I went bootmaking. I did some of those little Mr. Minutes, stuff like that. And I ended up doing a big, 30 years of contract work for Cecil Brothers, which is basically bets. We'd already decided to move down at Bridgetown. Just love the river, the Blackwood River, especially in the winter when it's up. You drive down to Nannup and it's on the right-hand side. You've got all that white water going over the rocks. And the winters, love the winters. You got more or less a good 4 seasons going here. Would you like a bag, madam? I set up a shop in here. And, we hit the ground running. We truly did. People always want stuff repaired. Well, the reasonable culture is that people, they get it, they can't just throw things away, because if they want to replace it, it's not like they can get everything on the internet. They got to go to Perth or wherever, or a bigger city. And if it can be like salvaged, then they're happy to go that way, more than happy. And they're more than happy to pay. Favourite machine in this trade, within this workshop, is the stitching machine, Singer. 70 years old, never complains, does the job. Favourite artists in the shop, they're usually like a mixed CD, mainly 60s and 70s, because a lot of the customers like that sort of music. Beach Boys, Beatles, rock and roll, Chuck Berry. if you put out that positive energy, people are going to feed on that. I know it sounds altruistic or whatever the word you want, but it works. Whether you're in a pub, you're ordering a meal, or you're applying for a job. I know it's a bit of an old-fashioned prosaic kind of thing. The longer I live, the more I appreciate what it took to actually take two boys, because she took my brother out of the home as well, and later on my other brother. So that was a hard gig. So yeah, hats off to you, Mum and Dad.